Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 117, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at nactv@wcgwave.ca. This week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press is dated Friday, June 17th, 2022. And we have a beautiful front page picture. Major donation makes playground dream a reality by Kira Patterson. The Neepawa Middle School is getting paid to play with a big check coming their way. With the recent announcement of a major donation from the Federated Cooperatives Limited, or FCL, Co-op Community Spaces Program, the school has reached its fundraising goal for a brand new play structure to be built on the grounds. Representatives with Neepawa Gladstone Co-op presented the school with the check on Tuesday, June 14th at a school-wide assembly. The Parent Advisory Council, or PAC, for the middle school has been organizing fundraisers and applying for grants since the beginning of the school year to help pay for a new play structure. Heather Segway, PAC treasurer, explained that the committee decided the new play structure was going to be their priority this year. So the group held grocery voucher and gift card sales with the students, as well as applied for grants and approached local businesses for donations. The middle school opened in January of 2020 on the same property as the Neepawa Area Collegiate, and since then, the kids from grades 5 to 8 have not had any play structure to use, as the outdoor space on the property has always been grassed to use as sports fields. Segway and PAC Secretary Liesl Milligan noted that the committee really wanted to get this play structure project going because the kids need somewhere to play, especially after coming from the elementary school with 2 play structures. These ages still want to play. They still need a structure, Liesl said. And it goes on to say, Segway noted that they aimed to raise $150,000. However, with all their prior fundraising in addition to the Community Spaces grant, they have been put over the top. In total, PAC and the school managed to raise $96,451.19 before the $100,000 from FCL was announced. I came across the Co-op Community Spaces program in February and I applied for it not thinking we would get it, Segway said, but when I got the approval email in April, I cried. And I couldn't tell anyone, she expressed, noting that the funding had to remain confidential until Co-op's official announcement of the Community Spaces grants. The community has really come behind this project, she added. It's been an easy snowball to roll. People just see it as a worthwhile cause. Brian Headley, general manager of Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, noted that they are very pleased to support the new playground. This new school is a testament to the progress and growth of our community and the continued positive direction of the school division, he expressed. We are very pleased to be a part of this project. This play area will be enjoyed by not only the students attending school, but by many children in the community for many years to come. The Neepawa Middle School principal, Val Perieski, expressed how thankful the school is to FCL for the donation. We are so happy that they are making our dreams come true, she shared. Perieski stated that they don't have a set schedule for construction to begin on the structure, but they hope to have it finished by the fall so kids can start using it in the new school year. The FCL Co-op Community Spaces program has been running since 2015. Over the years, they've provided $11.5 million to 160 projects throughout Western Canada on behalf of over 160 local co-ops in the country. This year, they are allocating $1 million between 13 different projects in Western Canada, including the Neepawa Middle School Playground project. And pictured here is what it will look like. This is an artist's rendering of what the new playground will look like. The Parent Advisory Council estimates the rendering is 95% accurate to what it will be once completed. Wow, it's beautiful. And also on the front, there is a picture where the presentation is being made. And pictured here is the Parent Advisory Council President, Tara McCarty, and Treasurer Heather Segway, Brian Headley, the Neepawa Gladstone Co-op General Manager, the Neepawa Middle School Principal, Val Perieski, and the Vice Principal, Sherry Hollier. Missing is the Secretary, Liesl Milligan, for the Parent Advisory Council. Next, roads ruined by recent rainfall. The recent wet conditions in the Banner and Press area have been causing some notable issues. Pictured here to the left is a portion of the Brown Avenue Road in Neepawa, which has a severe pothole as the fill has been washed away. In this picture, submitted by Beverly Jones, shows the end results of the Austin area receiving about 7 inches of rain since Sunday. Some railway track beds have also been washed away as the RM of North Norfolk has declared a state of emergency. And pictured here is a low-level crossing on Dominion Road, which is located south of the Tim Hortons in Neepawa, which saw some overland water pour over it and into nearby fields. Town of Neepawa seeks a water rate hike approval, by Owen Devereaux. The Town of Neepawa is seeking approval from the Public Utilities Board, or PUB, to increase its water and sewer rate. On Tuesday, June 7th, administration had a presentation to Council outlining the need to submit the request. Council agreed with the administration's view on the increase and gave the bylaw related to its first reading. If it receives second and third reading, a request will then be forwarded to PUB for consideration. All municipalities must receive approval from the provincial governing body before being allowed to take the action. The reason for the request is to aid with self-sustaining utility operations and providing capacity for future growth. The rates locally were last increased in 2019. What does it mean for you? For a residential water and sewer customer who uses the minimum amount of water and sewer on an annual basis, the increase to their bill would be $12.12 in 2023, $12.08 in 2024, and $3.36 in 2025. The yearly water and sewer rate amount in Neepawa will average $753.77. Despite this requested increase, Neepawa's new water rate average would still find itself in the middle of the pack provincially when it comes to annual utility costs for customers. So for the water statistics, it's as follows. The number of water and sewer customers in Neepawa this year is 1,581. 1,526 have both services and 55 have water only. With the amount of new housing being added to the community, it's expected to increase over the course of the year by at least 31 new customers. In regard to production and usage, Neepawa estimates that it will produce 1,171,077 cubic meters in 2022. The distribution is as follows. Water sales, domestic 354,576, which is a 30.28%. Water sales, wholesale, 696,932, 59.51%. Bulk sales, 2,978.25%. Town operations, firefighting, line flushing, etc., 53,885, 4.6%. Unaccounted for water, 62,706, 5.35%. Excuse me. $9,000 ace caught at Gladstone Legion. So here we have a picture. The Gladstone Legion is giving its congratulations to its Chase the Ace winners from June the 4th. There were 15 cards left, and the winners were presented with a check for $9,774.50. Pictured here are the Legion treasurer and past president Carrie McLennan, and winners Tracy Dobchuk, Chris Frere, and Delaney Evanson. And also with the Gladstone Legion, they donated $50,000 to the local swimming pool. The Legion president is pictured here, Nick Beavington, presenting a check to Mayor Scott Kinley, accompanied by Deputy Mayor Don Kubero, Councillor Bud Sigurdsson, Legion District Commander from Brandon Joan Wright, and RCMP Constable Lissaway from the Neepawa Detachment. So anyways, on Saturday, June 4th, the Royal Canadian Legion number 110 in Gladstone held a Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebration. The day consisted of a kids' royalty parade organized by the Chamber of Commerce, followed by a flypast from a World War II Harvard Texan and helicopters from the RCAF. The event was rounded off with Legion President Nick Beavington handing over a check to the municipality of Westlake Gladstone for the new pool that is due to start being built in the fall this year. Legion members had unanimously agreed to make this substantial donation to the pool, and the Legion is thrilled to support the project. Westlake Gladstone among recipients of preparedness grant by the Neepawa Banner and Press staff. A project in the rural municipality of Westlake Gladstone is one of a half dozen that will be receiving some support from the Mitigation and Preparedness Program, or MPP. On Tuesday, June 14th, the Manitoba government announced an additional $530,000 would be provided through the MPP for 6 municipal projects that mitigate future disasters. For the RM of Westlake Gladstone, the support comes in the form of $25,626 for a berm installation project. Since 2020, municipalities can apply to the MPP program to be reimbursed for 100% of their eligible disaster financial assistance costs. The 5 other projects that have received MPP funding include the City of Brandon, $397,346 for the continuation of the city's flood protection subsidy program. The Rural Municipality of Cornwallis, $31,132.94 for investment in a reserve fund. The Rural Municipality of Elton, $10,000 $352.67 for a culvert installation project. Rural Municipality of Harrison Park, $13,190.92 for the purchase of portable fire pumps. And finally, the Rural Municipality of Rochelle, $52,788.96 for investment in a reserve fund. Okay. Out of Helen's kitchen, playtime on the farm. I am a yesterday's child. We were not glued to tablets, handheld phones, or other gadgets to keep us entertained. Our televisions, if we should have them, had 2 channels, both fuzzy and off limits in the summertime. Playtime required us to use our imagination, our siblings or friends, and the surroundings around us to have the best of times. Playtime was after you helped do work on the family farm or household. Children were an important part of a family team. They carried in wood, gathered eggs, cared for younger siblings, helped with the livestock, and gardened, to name a few. This paragraph is an excerpt from a book I wrote for my grandchildren. When we were told we could go play, we disappeared and played. We never ever told our mother we were bored, since she remedied that problem with the job to do. No fighting in front of Mum either, or we had a job to do. We played outside a lot of the time. Tag, hide and seek, a farm had great hidey holes, tobogganing, making snow forts, putting the feeder cattle in the chutes, and having our own rodeo, playing in the cow's water trough, lying on our backs, watching the clouds change their artwork, and much more. One fun thing, and probably quite dangerous, was rolling a large barrel up the hill. At the top of the hill, one kid would get in and wedge themselves in the barrel, and the other kid would give you a push. Down the hill you went, and if you were lucky, you missed hitting the hen house on the way down. We never did this when Dad was around. At times, Mum turned a blind eye to what we did. We learned a lot of things about playing together without supervision. We learned to take turns, not to be a tattletale, to get along, to get hurt without a big to-do, and lose without whining. At school in the winter, we played games like snakes and ladders, old maid, checkers, crokinole, hangman, and cat's cradle. Cat's cradle was fun because of the seemingly infinite number of patterns you could get from a single piece of string. In the spring, we played marbles. To play marbles, all you needed was a piece of bare ground, a stick to draw a circle with, and a few marbles. Before the game, you decided if it was for keeps. That meant that at the end of the game, you kept the marbles that you won. So potentially you could win your way to a larger marble collection. Games like green light, red light, keep away, dodgeball, and red rover were played at noon hour, as well as hopscotch, jacks, and skipping. Once the weather was warm outside, out came the skipping ropes and the jump rope songs. Down by the river, down by the sea, Johnny broke a bottle and blamed it on me. I told Ma, Ma told Pa, Johnny got a licking, so ha ha ha. How many lickings did Johnny get? 1, 2, 3, and so on. We made our own toys such as bows and arrows, slingshots, tin can dishes for playing house, whistles made from tree branches, and mud pies with grasshoppers inserted upside down for the raisins and lovingly presented to the chickens for their lunch. We had weddings with brides carrying carigana bouquets and funerals for dead birds, complete with a priest, prayers, and wailing mourners. Life back then was just so much simpler. Childhood has changed. However, the love of cookies has not changed. These cookie recipes will appeal to the child in all of us. And she has 2 recipes, one for banana cookies and the other carrot cookies. Boy, Helen, that sure brought back a lot of memories. Okay, on to the Spruce Plains RCMP report by Corporal Eric Unraw. During the week of June 6th to June 12th, Spruce Plains RCMP dealt with 35 police activities. On June the 6th, RCMP responded to a domestic assault in the municipality of Glenella Lansdowne. One person was arrested, charged, and taken into custody as a result. Police conducted a well-being check on a person in Neepawa, and the person was taken to the hospital for medical treatment. On June 7th, RCMP responded to a single vehicle rollover in the municipality of Glenella Lansdowne. After investigation, it was discovered the vehicle's brakes seized and the driver lost control of the vehicle. The driver was the only occupant and sustained minor injuries. Police were dispatched to an abandoned 911 call in the RM of North Cypress, Langford. Police learned the residence's phone line was faulty and police assistance was not required. On June the 8th, RCMP received a report of a stolen truck from a field approach in the RM of Minto O'Donnell. The matter is still under investigation. Police discovered a light bar had been stolen off one of their police vehicles in Neepawa. The investigation is ongoing. Police responded to a report of threats being uttered in Minnedosa. There was insufficient evidence to proceed further. On June the 9th, RCMP received another report of a stolen truck in the RM of North Cypress, Langford. There was insufficient evidence to proceed further. Police received a report of a suspicious person driving a four-wheeler in the RM of Oakview with numerous jerry cans strapped to it, but the person or vehicle could not be located. On June 10th, RCMP responded to an abandoned 911 call in the RM of Minto O'Donnell. Police contacted the homeowner, who stated they were having phone line issues and no police presence was required. Police received a report of a drone flying over a property in Glenella that was suspected to be checking out the property for a future break and enter. The complainant reported for informational purposes only. On June 11th, RCMP responded to a breach of peace in Neepawa. All parties were spoken to and the matter was resolved without any further incident. On June 12th, RCMP received a report of a suspicious person said to be outside of a residence in Gladstone. There was insufficient evidence to proceed any further. RCMP conducted 11 traffic enforcement actions during this reporting period. Please be advised that the Minnedosa detachment no longer has a functioning answering machine. We recently received a new phone system, and we will not have the ability to have the voicemail feature for the foreseeable future. We apologize for any inconvenience this may cause. Our office hours are Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. If you require immediate police assistance, please call 204-867-2751 or 911. If you have any information about these crimes or any other crimes, please contact your local RCMP office or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477. We request that you contact each detachment for Neepawa 204-476-7340 or Minnedosa 204-867-2916 to inquire about criminal record checks or to file a report. Leave a message if needed, and it will be checked the following business day. Do not leave a message if you require immediate police assistance. You must dial for Neepawa 204-476-7338 or Minnedosa 204-867-2751 or 911 to have a police officer respond to you promptly. So the next page is the Carberry North Cypress Langford news by Gladwin Scott. The community profile this week is about Courtney Owens. Courtney Owens, a 2003 Carberry graduate and co-recipient of the Female Athlete of the Year, was home to settle her mother Stephanie's estate and heal. She excelled in softball and volleyball and earned a 5-year full educational ride at Three Rivers Community College in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, and Missouri State University. For the last 10 years, Courtney has worked as a physical education teacher for the Tucson Unified School District in Arizona. Her favorite sport now is ice hockey, and she also enjoys pickleball. Courtney, who's been a vegan for 10 years as an animal advocate, has sold her former home in Carberry and plans to host a garage sale Saturday, June 18th at 822 2nd Street. Her main companion for the last 13 years has been her dog Dingo, who has taught me how to love unconditionally, stated Owens. People who really influenced her life are Ken Friesen, Marty Jordan, Corey Billany, and her mother Stephanie. Next, we have some highlights from the 2022 Baseball Hall of Fame. After a 3-year COVID-19 hiatus, the Manitoba Baseball Hall of Fame held its 2022 induction banquet in Borden Saturday, June the 4th. The Cardale Cougars, Bantams, Midgets, Bisons from 1971 to 75 had 46 players and supporters attend the banquet. 116 were at the Gold Eyes Lincoln Salt Dogs game at Shaw Park Sunday, June 5th, which the hosts won 5-1. Mike Labossiere capably introduced the Cardale Cougars, and Wayne Ramsey replied for the team. The community plaque will be displayed in Dora's Cafe. Words of congratulations came from Russ Shaw in Redmond, near Seattle, Washington, who was unable to attend due to health issues, and Terry Pull of Melville, who was largely responsible for beating the Cardale Bantams at Westlock, Alberta, and the Midgets in Barrhead, Alberta, for the gold medals. Poole later played 15 years professionally with Houston. 13 original Hall of Fame founders were recognized, along with Joe Witcher, museum curator for the past 25 years, who received a plaque. They are as follows: Andy Alexiak, Mark Flynn, Lauren Corral, Jerry McKay, Frank McKinnon, Morris Mott, Jim Mutchison, Stan Olson, L. Robertson, Gladwin Scott, Glennis Scott, Winston Smith, and Murray Zook. There will be a rerun of the Cardale team induction in Rivers Sunday, June 26th at 5 p.m. before a Southwest Baseball League game between the Hamiota Red Sox and the Comets. Beef on a bun will be available to purchase at 4:30 p.m. Here and there. As Queen Elizabeth II, age 96, celebrated her 70 years on the throne, the Bailey family of Carberry has fond memories of their relationship. T. Roy Bailey had been crowned Mr. Manitoba Farmer in 1967, and the former North Cyprus Reeve was asked if Queen Elizabeth II, her husband Prince Philip, their son Prince Charles, who was 21 years old, and their daughter Princess Anne, who was 19, if they could relax for a day at their farm during their Manitoba Centennial Tour in 1970. Enjoyable horseback riding and lunching on the Bailey farm lawn highlighted the visit. It was like the neighbors coming over for coffee, said Brian Bailey, who is now 77 years old. In 2010, when Queen Elizabeth II was in Winnipeg to unveil her statue on the legislative grounds, T. Roy Bailey met the royal couple again. Prince Philip met the Baileys with a hearty greeting. "How's the potato crop this year, Mr. Bailey?" Great memories that will last a lifetime. Lacrosse teams from Brandon, Carnduff, Saskatchewan, and host Carberry met Sunday, June the 5th for exhibition games in the arena. 10 and under and 14 and under teams participated. This week, Jordy Douglas former Winnipeg Jet and Manitoba Hockey Hall of Fame director, telephoned to announce that our nomination of the 1954 to 1960 Pearson Bruins had been selected for induction Saturday, October the 8th. The small community dominated the Southwest Hockey League and provincial playoffs during that era and will be inducted as the Pearson Dynasty. More information to follow. In Santa Clara Baseball League play at Portage La Prairie on Wednesday, June 8th, the Carberry Royals and the Padres played to a 2-2 tie. No extra innings are played during league play. Corey Billiard and Ethan Bjornson shared the Carberry mound duties. Torrey Scott and Zane McConnell gave the Royals a 2-0 margin after the top of the first. However, the Padres pitchers Joey Moffett and Tanner Blight struck out 14 during the 7-inning contest. The host Austin A's trounced the undefeated Carberry Royals 18-9 Friday, June 10th. Other details were not available. Future Royals games include a trip to Neepawa Wednesday, June 22nd, and a visit from Portage Padres Friday, June 24th. In the Southwest Baseball League, John Patmore pitched a complete game for the Reston Rockets in a 1-0 victory at Rivers Wednesday, June 8th. Ryan Shaw went the first 2 innings for the Comets, and Scott Beaver hurled the final 5 frames. Nolan Yago doubled in the opening inning and scored the only run on 2 groundouts. Newcomers from Ukraine, including Modar, Maria, Olena, Artem, Amali, Max, and Liti, enjoy the peacefulness and beautiful pink and white blooms of Carberry. And for the Carberry Corner, in the recent Manitoba Junior Hockey League draft, Nate Robson, age 16, a grade 10 Carberry Collegiate student, was selected in the first round by the Neepawa Titans. Robson just finished a 33-point season with the Southwest Cougars in the 18 and under AAA League. Neepawa coach Ken Pearson felt Nate was very skilled with lots of potential. Carberry athletes, coached by Scott Brown, who qualified at the Zone 7 meet in Neepawa for the provincials June 9th to 10th at the University of Manitoba, are as follows. Nathan Dick, 100-meter JV, second. 200-meter junior varsity, third. Javelin junior varsity, second. Then Dylan Hood, long jump junior varsity, first. Triple jump junior varsity, first. High jump junior varsity, third. Then Tyler Hood, discus senior varsity, first. Triple jump senior varsity, third. Richard Laporte, 1500-meter junior varsity, second. 3000-meter junior varsity, first. Johnny Myers, long jump senior varsity, first. Triple jump senior varsity, first. High jump senior varsity, second. Carson Nakanekni, 400-meter senior varsity, second. 800-meter senior varsity, third. Discus senior varsity, third. Nate Robson, 100-meter junior varsity, first. 200-meter junior varsity, second. 400-meter junior varsity, first. And lastly, Lexi Unraw, long jump junior varsity, second. Triple jump junior varsity, first. And high jump junior varsity, second. Next, we have Something Special for Neepawa by Owen Devereaux. It's an art project that hopes to bring more visitors to Neepawa, while also instilling a stronger sense of civic pride amongst the town's own populace. If the official unveiling is any indication, it's already off to a good start on both those fronts. Arts Forward was the location on Saturday, June 11th, for the reveal of mural project created by Neepawa Tourism. The event was free for all to attend and featured live music and hors d'oeuvres to give the evening a celebratory feel. The festivities were capped off with unveiling of the murals themselves. One of the murals was selected from a large number of pictures submitted to tourism as part of a request for concepts. The winning idea was from a picture taken at the High Life Back 40 Trail Park by John Luigi Pito. The second mural, meanwhile, was based off of ideas from art students at NACI and Albert John Almachar. The plan is for students to create one design from the community at large and one from the students every year over the next 4 years. That would create 10 total murals that would be distributed within the community. The hope for this is that the murals will become a type of walking attraction to bring tourists into Neepawa. Tourism board member and artist Katie Martin developed this project with students at NACI. She spoke with the banner and press at the gala and said that the initial reaction to the event and the artwork itself has been well received. She said the reception to the murals is great. I think everyone is excited about seeing the finished pieces. The turnout for the reception is good. The concept behind the pair of murals is that one of the murals we produce each year is celebrating the community in some way, whether it's a local attraction or some part of our history, and the other is student-driven. Their ideas, concepts, and creativity. I think that is a good balance. Photographer John Luigi Pito inspired one of the murals and was in attendance on Saturday for the unveiling. He said it was an honor to be elected. I was surprised that my picture was chosen. I am proud of seeing it turned into this type of art and into something positive for Neepawa. I was so happy. As for what's next with the mural project, Katie Martin said it will depend upon local businesses and their interest in participating. She said the early response has left her optimistic. She said, I have a couple of people who have already reached out to Neepawa Tourism, inquiring about the mural project, so that's fantastic. The long-term success will depend on the buy-in from the community. We hope this will become an attraction for Neepawa, something that brings in visitors, so the more support we receive locally, the more likely we'll be able to turn this into something quite special. Local businesses and property owners interested in participating in the mural project are asked to contact info@neepawatourism.ca to learn more. And there is a couple of pictures. This is the actual murals that were revealed. This one here is the bike path, and then this is the one created by the students. And here we have the photographer whose picture was chosen, John Luigi Pito, and Neepawa students Gina Dowd, Luigi Ramos, Lee Tabelia, Neil Rivera, Christine Vaquet, and NACI teacher and Neepawa Tourism Board member Katie Martin. These are nice. The sports page. I believe I can fly. A one-day basketball tournament was held on Saturday, June 11th at the NACI Gymnasium. The final saw Bizdak defeat Warray by the score of 64-41. The MVP for the event was Jimboy Belanio of Bizdak, pictured above with the tournament co-organizer Rafael Flores. The day was well attended and was one of the largest basketball events held in Neepawa in over 2 years. Along with Flores, other organizers included Edsel Lacaros, Zoldi Pagidipon, Jeffrey Waniza, PJ Pantalon, and Richard Nadoy. Neepawa Titans hire a pair of assistant coaches. The Neepawa Titans of the Manitoba Junior Hockey League, the MJHL, are excited to announce that Zach Hicks and Landon Cameron have officially joined the organization as assistant coaches for the 2022-23 MJHL season. Zach is an alumni of the MJHL, having played with the Winkler Flyers for head coach Ken Pearson. He then went on to play at Red Deer College and the University of Regina Cougars. Landon Cameron, meanwhile, is no stranger to the local hockey scene and has been involved in everything from minor hockey to the high school team and the senior club, having successful stints with them all. Titans head coach, GM Ken Pearson says, Zach was very detailed and determined in the whole process. It was great to go through the process with Zach, and I'm excited to have him join the team. Zach's playing experience, character, and leadership speaks for itself. And at the end of the day, the decision was easy, and it will be a great fit. Hicks stated, I couldn't be more excited to step into a coaching position in the community I was born. The future of the Titans looks great, and I can't wait to be part of it. Cameron had this to say about joining the Titans. My family is invested in the organization and community, and it is the perfect time to get on board and help out as much as I can. I'm excited about the opportunity and hope to be a small part of the success of the franchise long term. Pearson added this about Cameron. Landon will be a great addition and instrumental in our players' skill development and our grassroots hockey. So please join us in welcoming Zach and Landon to the Titans family. Pictured here is Landon Cameron and Zach Hicks. Next, we have an article about the Neepawa Cubs by Owen Devereaux. The Neepawa Cubs have put aside a slow start to the Santa Clara Baseball League schedule with a 3-game winning streak. After dropping their first 3 games, Neepawa has collected wins over Austin, Ebb and Flow, and Portage recently, with those last 2 victories each at home. The first win was on Wednesday, June 8th, when the Cubs doubled up the Ebb and Flow Lakers by the score of 8-4. Pitcher Cody Pazuwisti earned the W, while teammates Nate Stevenson and Taylor Fletcher helped at the plate, each going 2 for 4 and driving in a collective 4 runs. A few nights later, the Cubs would hold off a late-game rally from the Portage Padres to claim a 7-6 decision. Neepawa seemed to have things in hand after scoring 5 runs in the bottom of the 5th inning to hold a 7-2 lead. Portage scored a pair of runs in both the 6th and 7th innings, however, to cut the deficit they faced to just 1. Cubs pitcher Jordan Wickens was able to hold on, however, and earned himself a complete game victory. Wickens tallied an impressive 9 strikeouts over the course of the game against 8 hits. Craig Casto came up huge for Neepawa with a 3 for 4 effort at the plate. Even more impressive than that, Casto blasted a pair of home runs. The Cubs have improved their record on the year to 3-3-0 and have moved into 3rd place in the standings. Next action in Neepawa will be on Friday, June 17th versus the Austin A's. First pitch is set for 7:00 p.m. Carberry Royals is currently in 1st place and Plumas Pirates 2nd, and then Neepawa Cubs 3rd. Here we have a picture of the Neepawa Ukraine Support Group. The Neepawa Ukraine Support Group drew names for its raffle on June 1st at 1:45 p.m. Prizes were a picture donated by Jody Baker and a quilt donated by Mary Murray. The winners announced were Jane McLaren, who got the picture, and Ellen Snedden, who got the quilt. Sales for the raffle totaled $5,320, which will be donated to a humanitarian aid fund benefiting Ukraine. The Neepawa Ukraine Support Group extends its thanks to all who supported its cause. Pictured here are Neepawa Ukraine Support Group representatives Glennis Black, Marion Robaluk, and Mary Murray as they pose with some Ukrainian flags and the prizes for their raffle. Now we have a story here submitted by Lori Goriliak. I hope I pronounced that right. It's entitled 2 Dads and 2 Mums, the story of an adopted daughter finding her biological parents. My mother received the call. Would you like to come pick up your daughter this afternoon? Oh my, well, of course. My brother, who was adopted 2.5 years before, had no idea I was coming. Mom wasted no time. Diapers, bottles, booties, and baby clothes. No time for baby shower. I was taken home with my mom and dad at 3 days old. Later in the year, I was legally adopted. At 43 years of age, my parents asked if I wanted my adoption papers. I was surprised and anxious. I didn't know what to expect. My parents always told me and my brother that we were adopted. At 14 years old, Mom asked me if I would like to meet my mom. I said, "Of course not, Mom. I love you." Not understanding the context of this question, I just never thought it was important. Why would I want another mother? I already had one. So the day finally came. Dad walked over to the credit union and came back with my adoption papers from the safety deposit box. I was quite tremulous to open each page, reading each word with great anticipation. It was then I realized this was something special. What they did was so honorable and loving and self-sacrificing. My parents allowed me to see into their world when they applied to adopt me. All their personal information, Dad's yearly income, church affiliation. Mom, as a homemaker, was very important as well. The home and their lives were seen as suitable for adoption. To adopt me was to fulfill their dreams of their marriage, to have a complete family, one boy, then one girl. Reading the information of my birth parents was a stark reality. It occurred to me I did belong to a birth mother and a birth father. I did belong to other people. The emotional tearing in my heart was hard. I knew deep in my heart I didn't want this day to come. The story read, an unwed mother who carried me to birth and then made the decision to give me up. I also realized that the provincial borders were opened now too, so searching beyond our own province was a reality. I could meet my family. Could I? Do it. It's now possible. I submitted an application form I received in the mail from the Vital Statistics Department in Edmonton, Alberta. This was very helpful. The clerk told me no one was looking for me. I resolved to continue with the search. The clerk added, "We will contact you with any new information." A few weeks went by. Then I got a call. The same clerk in the adoption department said, "Your parents had submitted a search for you 12 years ago." Since then, they had moved. The clerk assured me that she would find them. And so within a week, she did. The clerk asked me what I would like my parents to know about me, and then we arranged a time for a call between us. The phone rang at 7 p.m. Manitoba time. The first words I heard, "Hi, Lori, this is your dad." Then I said, "Hi, Dad," and I started to cry. Then, "Hello, Lori, this is your mom." I couldn't believe my ears. I was overjoyed. We talked about our lives with each other for about 2 hours. They told me they were coming to Manitoba to their granddaughter's wedding and asked if I could meet up with them. As time went on, my sister, who I've never met, called me and said they were planning a family get-together in a rural community hall with a few family members a week before the wedding. Everyone was excited to meet me. A potluck dinner was organized. Oh my, what an event. Over 30 people there, and all of them I was related to. Dad stood up at the head table and read a poem that was written by his sister from Nova Scotia for me. As he read it, tears came to his eyes and he had to stop for a minute. My aunt from Nova Scotia was not able to come. I never imagined such a beautiful poem could be written for me. I was so touched. There were a few tears and a great deal of joy. We had great music played by various family members, great food and fun. Now I had met all of my 5 siblings. 100% brothers and sisters, together with Mom and Dad in the same room for the first time in our lives. No words could describe our joy. There was a baby born 2 days before this family get-together. My brother and his wife just had a baby girl. They had decided that if it was a girl, she was to be named after me, and she was. I also learned that it was my sister-in-law who made this decision. What a beautiful honor for me and my little niece. I came to know that I also had 2 half-brothers from biological Dad's first marriage and 1 half-sister. My life changed so quickly from living with 1 brother all my life, who was adopted as well, to having 9 siblings. Quite a shock. Social Adjustment 101. So began my journey. 4 new brothers. Oh my. Aunts, uncles, nieces, and nephews, and my biological dad's mother, my grandmother. Think of it. It's all so many new relationships. What challenges for my husband and my children and my family. Mom and Dad and my brother. I had never had a sister before, and now I have 4. Amongst my friends and colleagues at work, I became known as the girl who had 2 dads and 2 mums, always having to clarify who I was talking about. I celebrated Father's Day in a very special way. I sent each dad a Father's Day card, and my adoptive dad I usually drove to visit with him and Mom. My birth father was provinces away, so that required a flight and trip. I realized there was no distance. I loved them both dearly. I learned much from both dads, mums as well. I realized that a loving God, my Father in heaven, was first. He created me between 2 people's love and the love of my mother to carry me, although she knew she would have to give me up. Yes, she was unwed and unattached. Dad supported her financially through her pregnancy. Life was different. The phone call changed my adoptive mom and dad's life on a dime. She is a young 24-year-old mother of my 2.5-year-old brother. She receives the happiest news to become a mom to a little girl, but unprepared and at short notice at that. She had to rush out to the store and buy everything that she would need for a new baby because she had given everything away from my brother to her best friend. She and Dad were not expecting another baby for a while. So my 2 dads and 2 mums played a major role in my life as an infant and as an adult. The biological parents were with me in the beginning and then the later years after I'd grown up, sharing new memories. It's as if God had designed this so. A family of 2 dads and 2 mums, the union of 2 families in one. The 2 dads, years apart, have passed on, and my adopted mum has passed on as well. Oh, how I miss her. My birth mum lives in another province. I'm not able to travel and visit her. My heart is happy when I can talk with her on Messenger via my sisters and brother. Visiting her has been next to impossible for the last 2 years. Every time she talks to me, she says, "I love you, Lori." After all this time, I feel the same sentiment as if these words were coming from Mum who raised me. They breathe life into me. In summary, you may ask, what have I learned through all these experiences, as unique and special as they have been? To remember that the gift of life is precious, and wisdom and thankfulness is priceless. I am thankful to the commitment of both dads I called Dad, who loved to me with all of their hearts. They gave me much more than I could ever give them. As we celebrate our dads, let us remember that many men make the best decisions they can, that circumstances allow. Let's support the faithfulness of the committed dads today and be thankful for a God who gave us dads. Forgiveness is a great place to behold. And this Sunday is Father's Day. Next are news and notes from Neepawa Town Council by Owen Devereaux. These are the councillor reports. Councillor Darren Pudlow notified Mayor and Council that Economic Development Officer Marilyn Crew and himself had recently attended the Community Consultation World Cafe. It was an event sponsored by the Salvation Army and held on May 18th at Arts Forward. The discussion examined the needs of a rapidly growing community. Pudlow thanked Amanda Nottingale and the Salvation Army for staging the event, which created the opportunity to have this very important dialogue. As well, Pudlow acknowledged and thanked Abby Krasiniak for her years of service as the Neepawa Swimming Pool as its supervisor for the last 5 years. Councillor Jason Nadeau informed Council of a meeting on May 18th with the Western Manitoba Library Board. He stated that the board has selected a new Director of Library Services, as Erica Martin has been promoted to the position. He also attended Neepawa Library Local Advisory Committee on May 26th. It was the first such meeting held in person in just over 2 years. On June 2nd, the Rossburn Trail Association had been scheduled to meet in Neepawa. That gathering had to be cancelled, as many board members needed to take advantage of the warm, dry weather that day to do some seeding and field work. Councillor Murray Parrott provided an update on local physician recruitment efforts with international doctors. A task force has been set up to search for people with medical credentials in the region. There has been interest voiced recently for a rural training center to be located in Neepawa. As well, a regional developer has been in touch inquiring about setting up a new housing project in the community. A Neepawa Area Development Corporation audit has been completed and will be discussed at the group's next upcoming meeting. Manager of Operations. Denny Segway offered a final review of the water expansion in Neepawa over the Victoria Day long weekend. He said that despite unfavorable weather conditions during a portion of the week, it progressed very nicely and in a manner that the administration are pleased with. The construction of the new RCMP building in Neepawa is going ahead very well. Interior work is at the flooring and painting stage. It is at the point where the RCMP could be able to move into the new building within the next month. Also, the filling of potholes within Neepawa is being tackled, and the sealing of road cracks will go forward soon. Cemetery and park staff are working with recently hired summer staff on upkeep. And there's just a few miscellaneous items. Approval has been given for a pair of parades in Neepawa. The first will be the Filipino Heritage Parade on Saturday, June 18th. The second is a 2022 graduation celebration on June 25th. The Filipino Heritage Parade will begin at 2 p.m. and the route will travel from the Riverbend Park west along Hamilton Street. It will then turn north on Mountain Avenue and conclude at the Yellowhead Center. Those portions of the street will be blocked off for a time during the festivities. For the graduation parade, it will be set for 4 p.m. and begin at the Yellowhead Center. It will then travel south down Mountain to Hamilton and then turn westward on Hamilton and conclude at the Beautiful Plains Museum. Approval to host a fireworks display for Canada Day has passed. Remuneration of 2022 election officials was passed. There was one change to this year, as the workers will be paid $275 for their time as opposed to $250. A pair of trucks will be purchased for use by municipal workers for utility and public works. One will be a regular-sized 4x4 truck to be purchased from Westward Ford in Neepawa at a cost of $39,973. The other vehicle is a compact truck for the water plant and will be purchased from McLaughlin GM at $38,288. And lastly, Mayor and Council approved a recent application to the storefront improvement program they had received from Century 21 for $3,153 to go towards signage upgrades. The storefront program has been in place for several years and covers up to 50% of costs to downtown businesses related to exterior and cosmetic upgrades to their storefronts. Local kin clubs awarded for service projects. Members of Kin Canada's District 2, which is Manitoba and Northwest Ontario, gathered in person in Dryden, Ontario from June 2nd to 4th, 2022 for their district convention to celebrate the end of the Kin service year. Kin Canada is Canada's own service organization that has been serving the community's greatest need for the past 102 years. The Neepawa Kin Club and the Gladstone Kinsman Club have served their communities since 1976 and are active clubs in their communities and within the association. District Convention is a time for members of Kin Canada's District 2 to gather together, discuss the business of the association, participate in educational opportunities, elect and install the new leadership team of the district, and celebrate the successes over the past year. This year's convention was even more special as members had not met in person since 2020. The celebration of service to the community is one of the most prestigious events of the weekend, as it is a cornerstone to the existence of the Kin Canada Association. Clubs across the district submit project presentations for unique service projects or fundraisers that they had done in their community. These presentations are then judged based on criteria and winners are chosen. Criteria consist of a number of things, including community impact, community engagement, and public relations. 2 winning submissions are then chosen to represent the district at the National Convention Service Awards. The Neepawa Kin Club and Gladstone Kinsman Club were both recognized for their service to their communities by winning the District Service Awards. For Neepawa Kin Club, their submission was for the Hugs for the Holidays Senior Edition project. This project saw over 265 seniors in Neepawa receiving Christmas gifts through businesses, organizations, and individuals adopting seniors to ensure they received some Christmas cheer. This was the second year for the project, which saw an increase in participants, had large community support for the project, and had a positive impact on the lives of those who received gifts. And for the Gladstone Kin Club, their submission was for the Happy Rock Snow Drag Races project, January 29th, 2022. It was the second time for this event after a year delay due to COVID-19 restrictions. The event had 85 participants racing snowmobiles at Williams Park on Jeff Mowatt's property. The day saw some great racing and some good food from the concession available at the event. The Gladstone Kinsmen were supported by a number of other clubs from the district who came out to lend a hand. The Happy Rock Snow Drag Races was a successful event that raised funds for Stride Hall, bleachers at WMCI, Norma Moore Memorial Gladstone and District Arena 2022-23 public skating fees, and $1,000 towards the new Gladstone swimming pool. And here we have a picture of the members of these clubs. They are being presented with the District Service Award by the National President, Jennifer Burry. So here we have Diane Tarian, District Service Director of Neepawa Kin Club, Denny Phillips, Neepawa Kin Club Secretary, Amanda Nottingale, Neepawa Kin Club President, National President of Kin Canada, Jennifer Burry, Gord Patterson, Gladstone Kinsman Club President, and Daryl Shipman, Gladstone Kinsman Club secretary treasurer. My goodness. Now I'll just go back and read some articles from before. Here we have Homebodies by Rita Friesen, entitled The Lawns I've Loved and Cared For. Throughout my 76 years, I have lived in various locations on varying sizes of properties. So far, everyone has had a lawn. Fortunately, I love being outdoors, and mowing the grass has seldom been a chore. That is, if the mower unit starts easily. Started out with a walk behind and have ended up with a walk behind. This one is inches wider than the first one, is easier to start, and I still don't have to perform the maintenance checks. The yard of my youth had fruit trees and flower gardens within the mowing area. A great deal of going around, but go around close enough to not need much of a trimming. It was an average size farmyard, and it was only after there were no longer sheep or goats grazing the outer yard that the mowing hours increased. My mother loved a tidy yard, and spring and fall involved much raking and burning of leaves, but that is an entirely different story. At that stage of yard care, I only needed to follow instructions. The next lawns were also farmyards. An exceptionally neat and well laid out yard site in the Homewood area was the first. All gardens, trees, and lanes were laid out square to the road in front of the home, out in public view in a competitive community surrounded by extended family. The lawn care was exacting. The grass was never so lengthy that it clumped when cut, unless excess moisture was a factor. There were no zigzag patterns in the mowing, like really straight lines, and trimming around all buildings and gardens. Thankfully, most of the work was done by the oldest child. The second one was south and east of Riding Mountain. The yard was sprawling, casual, and welcoming. Here the care fell to me. The 110 John Deere had made the move with us and put in hours of work. Here there was a need for the ride-on, a walk behind, and the trimmer. The soil was sandier and therefore did not grow as profuse a lawn, and the time required was less, though the area was larger. With more time, I created more flower beds. No regrets. With retirement came the acreage on the highway east of Neepawa. Oh my goodness, what a great deal of lawn care we decided was required. The faithful 8N was put into weekly use, slowly moving the kept area further and further back on all sides of the yard. Now the care involved the 8N, the ever-steady 110, a walk behind, and the trimmer. Even with the size of the mower, the hours of care increased. And to be fair, we planted trees, many trees that we watered and weeded for years. Again, no regrets. This last move into town provides me with enough lawn to enjoy caring for. After spending hours every week with regular maintenance on farm and acreage yards, it takes less than 40 minutes to mow the front and backyards with a walk behind. And so I have time to create gardens. No regrets. All right, I probably have time for one more article. This is by Ken Waddell, right in the center, entitled Standing Up for What You Believe. The views expressed in this column are the writer's personal views and are not to be taken as being the view of the banner and press staff. Last week's column on learning how to disagree without being disagreeable certainly got some reaction. It was gratifying to receive the feedback, and so far everybody agrees that is how we should conduct ourselves. If we all did that, there would be less strife and posturing in government at the municipal, provincial, and federal levels. Because we may have a different opinion should not make us enemies. If the agree to disagree theme was applied to organizations, the membership numbers might go up. If it was applied to marriages, the divorce rate might go down. I think this principle definitely applies to politics. Across Canada and certainly in the United States, everything gets divided into left and right. The Democrats in the States and the Liberals and NDP in Canada get branded as left-wing. The Republicans in the States and the Conservatives in Canada get branded as right-wing. This branding is a harmful process that virtually eliminates valuable discussions. In reality, politics isn't or shouldn't be about left or right. It should be about truth or fiction. There are some left-wing policies that are insane, and there are some that make sense. There are some right-wing policies that make sense and some that are insane. The problem is that media, commentators, and political operatives would have us believe that they are always correct and those other guys are always wrong. That is simply not true. If political parties would present, defend, and debate policies and not just spout a set of platitudes, we would all be better off. Let me give you a close-to-home example. Many people in southwestern Manitoba will remember Brian Ransom of Boys of A, Manitoba. He was educated at University of Manitoba and the University of Alberta. He worked as a resource manager and farmer before entering public life. He was elected to the Legislative Assembly of Manitoba in 1977, representing the rural riding of Souris-Killarney. In that year, Sterling Lyons Progressive Conservatives won an upset victory over Edward Schreier's New Democrats. Following the election, Ransom was appointed Minister of Mines, Resources, and Environment. Following a reorganization of cabinet in 1979, he became Minister of Natural Resources and Chairman of the Treasury Board. In January 1981, he was promoted to Minister of Finance. Although the Lyon government was defeated, Ransom was easily re-elected in the riding of Turtle Mountain. He ran for the party's leadership in 1983 as a rep of the party's rural conservative wing, but on the second ballot lost to Gary Filmon. Ransom did not seek re-election in the 86 Manitoba general election. He subsequently became chairman of the Manitoba Hydroelectric Board and worked as a consultant in sustainable development. I only met Ransom once that I can recall, and I asked him why he left politics. He said, "I got tired of people not being willing to debate conservative policies on their own merits." 1986 is a long time ago, but how many times have we seen policies wrapped up in political colors and presented to us without honest and clear debate? Ironically, the color red is right-wing in the States and blue is left-wing. It's the opposite in Canada. Ransom was absolutely correct. We need to discuss and debate policies on their own merit. Are they based on facts and truth? Will they help the country and the people? Do they strengthen or restrict freedom? Who makes money from a proposed piece of legislation? Who suffers? Defining a policy without trying to hide or disguise it is very important. Wishy-washy definitions of policy is what has caused the downfall of many leaders. The recent years' stumbling by federal conservative leaders has made them unelectable. Firm, clear policy statements are what is propelling CPC leader hopeful Pierre Poilievre to the apparent lead. Whether you agree with him or not, you know where he stands. Leaders need to stand out. In days of old, generals wore shiny uniforms and rode white horses. They stood out, but also made highly visible targets. We need to have leaders who stand out, who clearly say what they believe and carry out their ideas once elected. So with that, I will conclude today's reading of the Neepawa Banner and Press. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Bye for now.